Hi, everyone.
What's
My
up?
name is Matt Andress, a senior at Germantown Academy. I'm here with Claire Crippen, class of 2007, who was lucky enough to go on a swim at the University of Virginia. So let's congratulate Claire on her induction into GA's Athletic Hall of Fame. Mrs. Crippen, do you have any words to share at this time?
Thanks, Matt. It's so good to see you and hear from you. My world has really come full circle. It's such an honor to be inducted into GA's Hall of Fame. I think as I reflect over the years, there's been some pretty incredible athletes that have been inducted, and I'm just very honored to be one of them. It's interesting because I feel as though I'm pretty lucky and fortunate to know GA the way I do through the lens of a student athlete, an alumni, a what came back and I coached and was able to be work at the school for a few years. And then I've moved on and I went to nursing school and became a nurse. But and then I ended up marrying my husband, who is a coach and a teacher at a rival high school. So and now I get to see GA through the lens of a coach's wife at a rival high school. And I think GA is phenomenal and produces phenomenal student athletes. And it all goes back, when I think about it, to the teachers and the coaches at GA. And I am so fortunate to have had a great support system from Mr. Connor, the head of the upper school when I was there, or head of the school when I was there, to Mr. Fennerty, who was the athletic director, to Coach Schulberg, who was my swim coach, to Mrs. Bradley, who was my freshman advisor, and Miss Goldstein, who I kid you not, I credit for my success and my ability to stay in GA was because of Mrs. Bradley and Miss Goldstein. And because of teachers like those that I named, along with Mr. McVeigh and Mr. Com, and there's just so many that I can't even think of right now. I think it's interesting because I feel as though you know a kid from GA right away. You know that they are confident and independent and successful, both in the classroom, on the athletic field, in the pool. And I just have to credit those teachers and those coaches and the environment that they create, both in the classroom, in the halls of the school, and on the field and in the pool.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm very honored to be in the Athletic Hall of Fame, along with all of the other inductees this year and all of those in the past. I just think that it's a very unique athletic Hall of Fame. I think there's very good, very well respected, world-renowned athletes who have been inducted over the years, and I'm just honored to be one of them.
What are some of your best memories of swimming at GA?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I think when I was at GA, it was a challenging environment and demanding athletically to be a swimmer on the swim team. Practicing 5 mornings a week, 5 afternoons a week, Saturdays and Sundays. There wasn't much room for anything else than swimming and academics. So I honestly think that my favorite, most memorable times were probably at Easterns every year. It was just an opportunity to come together as a team. We spent so much of our time. Swimming is just a very individualized sport, and you spend so much of your time focused on how well you're doing, what your times are, what your places are, the ultimate end goal. And so you don't always get to participate in a team sport and have that sort of team dynamic going on. And so I think Easterns provided us the opportunity each year to come together as a team and embrace each other and support each other and cheer for one another and teach you those valuable lessons that I think are often so overlooked in the sport of swimming. And it was just, I just remember it being so much fun and not wanting the weekend to end, and being so sad when it was over. So I think those are probably my most memorable parts of
Yeah,
swimming
that's
at GA.
awesome. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of GA traditions, but what's your personal favorite one?
Oh gosh. You know what? I think my personal favorite tradition that we had when I was at GA, I vividly remember Christmas Eve practice. And we were all excited as student athletes at GA that all the alumni would come back. They would gather on the pool deck for a brunch. They would take the attention away from us as athletes, and we were able to kind of do our own thing and have an easy practice. And being a part, knowing that you were going to be a part of that community once you graduated, and seeing not the light at the end of the tunnel, but the reward for all the effort that you would put in day in and day out. Where if once you did graduate GA, you knew you always had a home, you knew you were always welcome back. And Christmas Eve brunch, I think, solidified that, or made us realize that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, and at this very moment. And I think that was probably my favorite tradition. And then we got to like hang out with the alumni afterwards, hear about their lives, hear about college life for those that were in college, eat breakfast, and just be a part of a family.
Yeah, that's nice. So what are some life lessons you learned from swimming and also studying at GA?
I think being a student athlete at GA made me realize that you are at school to be a student athlete. You're not at school to be an athlete. Swimming's only going to take you so far in life. Life goes on. There's more to life than athletics. And I think that the teachers helped in their way, helped cultivate an environment that allowed us to see that and be successful in the classroom. I credit those teachers who provided that insight and helped develop student athletes. What was your second part of the question?
What lessons do you learn from swimming? Yeah, life skills.
Okay, okay. Okay, back to swimming. So swimming. What life skills did I learn? Honestly, I think just hard work, dedication, day in and day out. For lack of a better word, the grind of every day. Getting up, knowing you had to go to practice, knowing you had to go to school, knowing you had to go back to practice. It helped prepare me for what I do now. I always think to myself when I don't want to get out of bed in the morning, I'm like, would I want to go to some practice? And it helps like get me up and get on my day. It gave me the confidence to stand up and know that I can accomplish whatever is in front of me, whether that be a race, an exam, a certification, a job interview. I think that swimming really helped give me the confidence to look at the person next to me and say, I'm just as good as you are, you know. Yeah.
What was it like to swim for legendary Coach Schulberg?
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty challenging. Day in and day out. I was lucky enough to be one of 4 siblings who swam under Coach Schulberg, and I knew what I was number 3 of 4, and I say that because I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew what was going to be expected of me, and I knew the challenge ahead walking into it as a freshman, and I bought into that, and I bought into the program. knowing that at the end of the day, swimming for Coach Schulberg could ultimately change my life. And it did. I went on to swim at the University of Virginia. I will be quite honest with you, I did not have the grades to get into the University of Virginia as a student. But having the student athlete background and my success in swimming that was developed under Coach Schulberg, I was able to go on and swim at the University of Virginia, have a successful career there, and ultimately come back to GA, where that kind of, once I came back and worked there, that kind of gave me the opportunity to try out different things and see really what I wanted to do in my life. And I'm just so thankful for everyone from Coach Schulberg to Mr. Connor to Mr. Fennerty, and all of again, Miss Bradley, Miss Goldstein for getting me through GA, because I honestly don't think I would have been able to get through that school.
So finally, what advice do you have for current GA students?
I think my advice for current GA students is to be present and be in the moment and utilize those individuals around you, whether that's your peers, your classmates, your teachers, your advisors, your athletic director, your head of school, your coaches, whomever. I think, and I see this with my husband as a teacher and a coach, there's so many resources that are available to high school students and high school student athletes. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete or a Belfry student or someone involved in CSO. Like, there's just so many different places for people to get involved and engage with faculty members and classmates in and out of the classroom. And I think that's really life-changing, because you meet and develop relationships with people who you might not necessarily come to know, unless you're willing to take that risk and get involved and try things that you haven't tried before. Even if you're not necessarily, you don't love it or you're not that great at it. You never know who can help you, where they can help you, and how those people may help you later in life. And I think I always go back to this because I remember seeing Mr. McVeigh and Mr. Connor and Mr. Fennerty on the steps of my parents' house after a loss in my family. And I never had anticipated them being there for me, and having them show up so unexpectedly made me think they're there for me. Like, they can help me. And whether that's as a student, as an alumni, like, you are going to be part of this huge, gigantic family, and people are always, always, always willing to help you. And I think that is something that I can attest to, my family can attest to, you probably can attest to it, Matt. There's so many great people who are involved with GA, and you develop those relationships by getting involved and asking for help and surrounding yourself with people who are different from you and who are your peers, or ahead of you or above you, or grade wise, colleagues, anything like that. So I just think that if I were to offer one piece of advice, is just get involved, do things, ask for help, utilize your resources, and know that you are going to graduate from GA into this large, large family. And that, to me, is what's so special about being an alumni of GA.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, we've ran out of time here, but let's congratulate Claire on a well-deserved induction to the GA's Hall of Fame.